Here we are again, and as said last time, I want to just record the next train setup I'm doing for this session. So what I did in the past was actually taking the original database from this session and take out the database lines. Um, I cannot simply copy them over and recreate them, because if there's one thing not really matching the session, for example, an track mark is missing or some spelling mistakes or whatever, then the whole thing does not work. And this database, I think, had more than 300 values or entries. And if you start to search for an error and testing and trying out, then good luck. That's why I pretty early started to do some kind of spreadsheet that helps me to trace actually each entry for each car. It works more or less for my purpose quite good. There might be easier methods, but at the moment I'm working with this. So I'm basically having a kind of template spreadsheet with lots of tabs. I just adapt now and then. For the session, I'm using this CMTM setup. For example, this is one done for the Jesse James Progressive Railroad session workshop that's on the trains forum. But let's get back to this. The database actually is, as I said, ordered by rows and columns, and each column has a certain functionality. Um, the ID, the day when it runs, where it starts, what kind of car type, boxcar, flat car, gondola, whatever. A company, if there are local tracks or train names used, that's a bit tricky to set up. As you can see, sometimes are local tracks, Cattaraugus freight dock, which does not exist anymore in the new route. And then the first destination, the load, how it goes there, the product if it's loaded, coal for example, how long it takes for the next one. In this case, 20 hours before it goes to destination 2, back to the portal with empty, with the coal unloaded actually. That's basically how to read it in very short um, words. The day, it only shows which day it is used. If there is an X, this record is not used. And sometimes you see records like this that basically come from a portal and go through a portal. It's just to generate traffic on the route. It's not too boring. And also, if you have a consist passing through, you don't need to set up each car individually. It's taken multiple times. In contrast to the local tracks, if there's a car coming in from a portal, it's only used at once. Because we actually only want, in this case, two box cars, one from the Western New York and one from the New York Central North portal. They come both empty and actually go out empty. I'm not really happy with this original setup. I might do something else. We will see. That's why the industry does not exist anymore, and like some others, and then I'm keeping those records for the end, and then I see what I'm doing with them, replacing them or skipping them completely. We will see. So, and like I said last time, I want to set up a train which is not set up yet for day 2. So I basically filtered this table only for the Tuesday records. It's quite a lot, but also you can see there are already entries which I added already to the new session, because this entry is also valid on a day 1 on the Monday, and I've already done that. I've noticed there are some records already for some entries, but I don't know why. Maybe I was in mood. This is not this, for example. I don't know why I already set it up. So basically, originally it was in database line 181, and now it is in 26. What I usually do, going with this CMTM tutorial, basically I also go for the industry. So Lime Lake Team Track is an industry, and to see actually what comes, team track, when comes what, from where, I have this tab, and also I have the car ID in which I find it in my new database. This might look a little overblown, so to say, but as soon as you are starting to change individual settings, or cars, or remove an industry, then you will have fun trying to search and keep the consistency. So basically, like, you have, I don't know, 15 cars going out from an industry but only 10 coming in or so. And if you have a multiple day session, then you should try to make it possible that you have enough cars for the industries to serve. So just to prevent the situation that your industry sends off cars but it's not getting any back. So line 20 or card 26 basically comes from the north portal on a Tuesday and Thursday, brings general goods, stays there for 24 hours, then leaves again to the north portal to New York City empty. And if I just fill, oh, I'm usually going from the beginning location, and let's see, I think I started from below last time. Here all entries are there already. The eastern portal is also done, except those that do not exist anymore, or some questionable entries. You see, some do start at the ECS location. I think I did not set it up yet. Southern portal. Normally I start with the ECS, especially when I start a few or start fresh on a session, but in this case I'm already at the second day, and then I know I have to do them all, and the order is important only in one situation, because the system reads them from top to bottom. And if you, for example, have the through records of an incoming train first, then it assigns them. first, and then the local records, which means your incoming train has a lots of passing through cars coming first, and at the end of the train there will be the local cars. If your database is from the order entries the opposite, so you have first the local records like those at first, then the first cars emerging from the portal of this train will carry the local cars, and the remaining cars will just pass through to the others. This way you can control a bit how much you have to shunt for these incoming trains. But honestly, at the moment, I don't take that much attention to this point. I just try to make the database work. At the end, I still can swap out the line if I'm not happy. That's easier, but I know if I just need to copy the line, then it's already almost done. So then let's start with the incoming train from the southern New York City Central portal. This one goes to an ECS. I do not record if I have enough cars for ECS. I'm only doing this for the industries. But maybe at the end, when play testing the whole thing, the complete session, um, it might show some surprises. But for now, I'm just keeping this. So basically, for my new database, let's start from the beginning. Next one would be, oops, this one, 156. Nah. I created some drop-down nodes just to prevent typos, because if you type all the time those little thingies, it's terrible. And also there's restricted to the possible entries. Beginning location can only be a portal or an ECS collection, ECS location. But we are coming from the southern portal, I said. Yep. Bring in a boxcar. And for ECS, we can fine-tune if a company is given the boxcars can be routed to the ECS location, and any other boxcars are going to other locations. Oops, wrong. This one. ECS2. We don't have a train name in this case. ECS is always empty, which means it does not have any load. And sometimes you need some access here, sometimes not. That's the tricky part, to make your database work or not. That's basically it. This one we already have. '66 Lime Lake Freight House. That basically is one where I would like to have this little yeah, well, we already have two entries, one basically valid for all week each day, and one only on Monday and Wednesday. And in this case we are getting on we're getting general goods from the southern portal, which means we are getting an input on an XPG from the southern, and it takes like 9 hours to unload, and then it goes to the southern portal empty. It's the exit 1, on 2, and what did I say? 5? 2 and 5? 2 and 5. And this is data in line 166, and for our database 166. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need a car, special car name. Also, we don't have a train name. To Lime Lake Freight House. It was loaded with general goods. Took 9 hours. 9 hours. And turns to the southern exit as an empty, of course without any load, and as it disappears in the portal we don't have any unload time. Okay, one done. Let's do the next one, Dalton Produce. That's interesting because I think I did not set it up yet. Let's see. No, I don't have this yet in my collection, which means I'm just maintaining some data that makes it easier for me to enter it. So as a local industries, I have a long list here, just added. And apples on a pallet. I'm not sure if I have this already, which I can. Nope. Then we add it here as well. And now we can select. Well, almost. Fishy things. Huh. No, it works. Now I can filter. Okay. It's reefer or something like this. comes as an empty, sorry. Which means if it comes empty, we have an output with the apples. The gelling comes from the southern portal with a 12-hour load time, and it goes to the southern exit on southern portal. Okay. XRM. We don't have this. This is Dalton. It comes as an empty without any load, but takes 12 hours back to the portal south mid with loaded apple pellets and no time as it vanishes. Now, so far so good, but I don't have this track mark yet, and in this case I'm just go away, checking or verifying actually where it was originally. Bolton produce, there should be, yeah, I think this industry still exists. And we just need the track mark, place it here, rename it Dalton produce, and now we are set. Before we basically could already test it, because we have lots of through records here. So if I don't have a local track yet, local entry yet, it will take one of the through records here. Let's see if we get the train for Dalton produce, or the car for Dalton produce for this. The train, of course, needs to be set up in the session rules from the portal manager and from the southern portal. I set it already up on a Monday, and now we need it for the Tuesday. Very important to really stick to your naming convention. From the New York City Central South Portal on day 2, first train. That's still the original consist. It arrives at 10. At 10, okay. And has no rules set up because just testing at the moment. Let's see. Still only one loco set done with init, starting setup, done with setup for day 2. If this line is the last line is not appearing, then probably there's something wrong already in the database setup. Nothing else. Okay, it's 7 and let's have a look at this portal. Just a little loop so the train has enough space to spawn. And it sometime arrives. Nope. Ah, I hate that. Okay. I can use cheat mode if the debug tools are enabled and push down the shift key to have some acceleration, but it's not recommended doing it while spawning trains because they might derail within the portal. There we go. The CMTM data will be assigned once the train has entered completely. And as I didn't set up a command, it is just going to stop. You can use this as a kind of interchange when you want to simulate that some cars are dropped off by a foreign railroad on your road, and just drops out cars, and then you also can simply push them in. You just have to take care to not uh, let your locomotive go into the portal. Might need some practice, but it's possible. The longer the train, the longer it takes to emit, of course. So if you are really trying to make some interesting timetables, just consider the spawn time. At some point you start to hate very long trains. um, Especially when you fuck it up like I did, because I guess you noticed there will be nothing on this train because I did not load the database entries. I made it in my sheet but not in the database, just to verify. There it is. The through records are assigned, but there's not a single one for Dalton. It's the through records and the few local ones that are there for Gowanda. Okay, so far for this test. Nope, we don't. So database file. I might still rename it. Here we go. It's actually not very long. Yeah. So now the fun part of this little work we have done here, because 164 we had, we just need to copy those 3 lines. We have one more product, the apples. This is a copy of the original database file, so I'm just copying it over. And of course we need to say Dalton produce long list, edit, and we now have yep, 168. Okay, very important. If one of them is missing, it most likely will not work. Number of records, empty car, storage locations, change here local tracks, we added one. This is more or less static. Then your database lines, your new lines, and the product you are going to use. Just save it, close it, and where is it? There it is. Commit, submit. Okay, now we should have this. Again, day 2, done. Starting setup, done with setup. Okay, and one more magic. Okay, that's for the trick. Kind of fast forwarding time. New York City Central Southern Portal, and suspense. No, this way. I didn't count the cars of this consist. Sometimes I think it should be faster. Way too long, way too long. Yeah. In normal gameplay you won't notice this. How long it takes, just that the train has arrived and drops off cars. Here we go. Portal train, 60 cars. Dalton produced an empty. There it is. Last one in the caboose is caboose. This one is set up correctly and identified as a caboose. That's nice. This one is for Dalton. Excellent, this worked. Yep, that's basically it. I'm continuing setting up this train, proceeding to the next days and so on. If there are any questions, want to see anything else, just let me know. And for the detailed setup of this, I guess, if there's interest in it, let me know. So long, see you.